Hi, I'm Peter Mostert. I play Clarence Oddbody, AS2, Angel Second Class. That's just my normal voice. Then I play Ernie the cab driver, and I talk like a funny guy. And then Uncle Billy, which I just talk lower, which is Uncle Billy Bailey. And then I also play Sam Wainwright, the rich guy. And honestly, the big difference between a radio show and a real show is that the radio show's now, so we all have to wear masks and all have to social distance, and that you also don't really have to act with your body, which I still end up doing. It's just like you gotta act with your voice, which it's hard to do.
So I really like the idea of playing multiple characters and using your voice to interpret those characters. For me, I play Peter Cratchit and the Ghost of Christmas Present, and so the Ghost of Christmas Present is a very jolly, like a giant man, a jolly person, and Peter Cratchit's this young boy. So for Peter, he says stuff like, "Oh, look at the punch, there's enough for a toast and one after that," while the Ghost of Christmas Present is like, "I am the Ghost of Christmas Present. You've never seen the likes of me before," which are very different, and I have to switch between them very quickly, so it's interesting to learn how to do that.
I'm Alexia, and I play Ma Bailey, Mrs. Hatch, Bert, the cop, and Nick, the bartender. Some difficulties, like I found like with switching between the voices, is I play two mothers and then two men. So, like, I have distinct voices for each. Like the mother, I go like, it's a very soft tone, and it like lifts at the end. And then for the men, I kind of talk in like my normal voice, but like deeper. And doing a radio show is different than doing a regular show, because partially it's not a musical. There's no dancing. There's no blocking. Like most of the time I don't even look at the person I'm talking to. So you have to make it up in your imagination. And yeah.
Hi, I'm Bradley Kavanaugh. I play Bob Crackett and Old Joe. And the thing I find most difficult is you have to find two different voices that you can distinct from one another, that are different, but you have to keep each one consistent, so when someone starts speaking, you automatically know who it is. That's what I find most difficult.
Hi, my name is Emma, and goodness gracious, let me see if I can get this right. I am Gower, I am Martini, I am Zuzu, I'm Mrs. Thompson / Mrs. Davis, the bank teller, and the toll booth person. Yes, and I don't know. It's definitely hard to play all of those characters because lots of them are men, and I do not have a very deep voice, but I try to make it through. I really love playing Martini, and I think you guys will all hear that during the show. Some differences, like between this show and like all the shows we've done in the past, it's really difficult to for me to act with my voice. I usually tend to act with my face more, but it's definitely been fun. Yeah, so yeah.
My name's Michaela Cusack, and I play Miss Dr. Campbell, Jimmy the Bird, Carter the bank examiner, and Petey. Yeah. It's pretty fun. I do a lot of different voices, and I really enjoy that. Before this, I really did love voice acting. I like to research stuff about it and like who plays who in like different media and stuff. So it's really cool that I got to try it out, I guess, in like a little like different thing. So yeah, it's just really fun, and I enjoy this a lot better than being on the stage because I don't have to do anything like with my arms or blocking or anything. I just use my voice, and I can do that a lot of different ways, so it's great.
Hi, my name is Micah Juman. I'm playing George Bailey and an old guy. I actually don't remember his name. But yeah, what's it like to play two characters? It's really weird because you feel like you're talking to yourself. I always feel tempted to like jump from one side of the mic to the other, just so I like feel like I'm someone else. And when I'm trying to play George Bailey, I try to talk like this. it's not that very good, but it's different than, like, the way I normally talk. But for the other guy, I never know what to do, so I'm like, just stop talking. I don't know.
Hi, my name is Ansley Teal. I play Jacob Marley and Tiny Tim, and probably the hardest thing I find about playing multiple characters is it's really just entirely reliant on voice for the distinction, because you can't use your posture or your face to show that, you know, Jacob Marley's really old and, you know, unhappy and dead, and Tiny Tim, even if he's not super healthy, is still really young and excited about everything. And also, these two characters specifically happen to be at the exact opposites of my vocal range. So Marley is very, very low, and Tiny Tim is super duper high. And that would probably be the biggest thing for me.
Hi, I'm Karen Camisso. I play Mary Hatch. What I find different about a real life show and a radio show is, personally, I've always wanted to try voice acting, but I think it's actually a lot harder than real life acting, because you're using your voice a lot differently than you might while acting on stage. While you're still using a lot of inflection, it's really hard to show emotion through only your voice and rather your facial expressions.
Hi, I'm Jenna. I play Helen, Fan, Mrs. Cratchit, and the Chairwoman. And I would say the most difficult part about playing different characters is making sure that I have a very distinct voice for each one of them. So, especially for two of my characters who have a scene back to back, and I have to switch very quickly, it can be difficult to convey that they're completely different scenes, and so I have to make sure that my voice is able to do that, especially since I can't use any hand gestures really or facial expressions. So yeah, that would be the most difficult thing about playing multiple characters.
I'm Tony Camisso. I'm playing Pop Bailey, Mr. Welsh, Harry Bailey, and Mr. Potter. So the difference between a radio show and a live action performance is, with a radio show, you rely solely on your voice and intuition during your lines. Meanwhile, during a live action performance, you have the opportunity to express emotion and express what you're trying to portray to the audience via your body and other actions, regardless of how your voice sounds. As well as with a radio show, you don't have an audience there to speak to interact with. So as the performer, it's a bit more awkward and much more difficult than being able to feed off of a live action audience, being able to feed off of how they react. It really takes a lot of concentration.
Okay, so the difference between a regular stage show and this show is, first of all, you get to use your script, and that's kind of really helpful because you can remember where you are, you can write things easier, and you can remember them easier. But it's sort of kind of hard because you can't look at your friends like you would usually when you're in a scene. It's really hard to switch voices. Like, for example, in our old script, when I was Mr. Gower and Young George, I was quite literally yelling at myself, and it's hard to go from really high pitch to really low drug voice. So, I mean, that's kind of a challenge. It's also kind of hard to figure out how to portray one person and then another person maybe a few pages later. Like, what's the difference in personalities? Like, can you even do that?
Hi, I'm Victoria Bender. I play Belinda and Poole, and the challenge between showing the difference between both of them is one is a man and one is a young girl. And it's very difficult to show their emotions between them because I can't like express myself in my hands or like on the stage or anything. I have to show it with my voice, and it's really fun like learning how to do that.
Hi, I'm Jacob Ford. I play the roles of Fezziwig and Nephew Fred, and the hardest part about this for me is the difference in vocally between both characters. Well, on one side there's Nephew Fred, who's a younger character and a jolly fellow, and then on the other side there's Fezziwig, who's an older person, still jolly, but a lot older and has a different perspective of life.
Hi, my name is Connor Wheatley, and I play Abuser Scrooge and Abuser Scrooge. that I find the hardest part between differentiating between like older Scrooge and like younger Scrooge is the change in way he acts towards Belle and Fan, and how he's all happy and nice, and then when they die or whatever happens there, he's all grumpy and angry and upset and miserable, kind of like some people I know. But yeah, basically it's hard to get that raw emotional feeling out there without using like body image, using my hands, and only using my voice.
I'm Grace. And I'm Lydia. And we are the Foley artists for our 2 shows. So we just want to sample out some of the sound effects. This one's for the train. Okay. Pretty fun. This one I use for the champagne bottle. It's a syringe and you just pop the top.
This is for a goose, not a goose, a bird named Jimmy. We can flap his wings.
And this I use for a typewriter. I take scissors. And that's the end of the sentence.
And when a character is walking through snow, I think Scrooge does it. I know George does it. We walk through snow like this.
This one I think is super fun. We take a roller skate and when we open up a window.
Really bringing the thunder for these performances.
Yeah. Oh, the wind machine. This one's fun.
Finally, we have, well, not finally for all of them, but for the ones that we're going to show you, we have the phone. It's rigged to a button that makes it ring. And then when you pick it up, it'll stop. And you can be on the phone and slam it down dramatically to end your meeting.
And thank you for watching. That's our sound effects.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, young and old and new. Greetings from WKKC Studio A in Latham, New York, right here in the good old US of A. I'm your host, Bridget Ryan, and it is my pleasure to bring you your favorite stories this and every week. Tonight, we bring you a Christmas classic, It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, I'm getting a signal from our stage manager that we will be on the air in 10 seconds. Thank you all for coming, and enjoy the broadcast.
We are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
WKKC in Latham. And now, it's time for the WKKC Radio Theater's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. But first, a word from our sponsors. Gentlemen, does your hair resemble a dried out bird's nest full of dandruff flakes? Do you plaster your hair down like a cheap gigolo smelling to high heaven?
P.U. What a stink.
When girls get a gander at the tip top of your noggin, do they go,
Ew.
Well, here's a friendly hint that may just help you out in the romance department. Starting tomorrow, why not try out Bramwell Hair Tonic? Yes, sirree, you'll be heading for success with this Bramwell groomed hair. A success with the gals and on the job. Bramwell always keeps hair looking mighty attractive. Always in place. A real sex appealer. Bramwell Hair Tonic does lots more than keep your hair handsome looking.
Bramwell the Swank Hair Tonic makes your filthy bird's nest clean. A little dab will do ya. All the pretty gals will scream. Not only will dames love it, your barber will shout out with glee. Bramwell the Swank Hair Tonic, your dandruff will be his story.
Buy some Bramwell Hair Tonic today. Your hair will thank you. And now, the feature presentation of the evening, WKKC's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. This is the story of George Bailey, an ordinary man who lives in Bedford Falls, New York. But George Bailey, more than anything, wanted to see the world, the exciting world that lay somewhere beyond his hometown. George had big dreams, but also responsibilities. Of course, sometimes the two don't exactly fit together. Sometimes, happiness is not over the rainbow, but right under your nose. However, our story doesn't begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in this world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels is briefing an apprentice angel named Clarence.
Clarence Oddbody, Angel Second Class, reporting for duty, Your Honor.
What? They sent me an angel second class? You mean you haven't even earned your wings yet?
No, not yet, but I'm hoping this mission will do the trick. Are you really sending me down to Earth? Gosh, I haven't been to Earth since that time I got...
Yes, you'll see. There's a man in trouble down there.
Good.
No, bad, Clarence. At precisely 10:45 p.m. Earth time, a man named George Bailey will be thinking about ending his life.
My, ending his life? Well, I know that's bad.
Very good, Clarence. I'm glad you follow. Now, that means you must stop him if you can. Now, let me brief you about George Bailey's case history. You see, when George was a boy...
That's okay, Your Honor. All I need is a plan.
A plan?
You see, Your Honor, I'm reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain.
Yes, I'm familiar with the book.
Well, Tom Sawyer always has a plan.
I see. Well, if you can help George Bailey with your plan, Clarence, you may just get your wings. Say, how long have you been waiting for your wings anyway?
Over 200 years.
200 years? Well, George Bailey is going to need a miracle.
Yes, thank you for your confidence in me, boss. I'll leave immediately.
Wait, Clarence. Plan or no, first, some background. Now, when George Bailey was a boy, he and his friends snuck onto Mr. Potter's property and were sliding over a frozen pond on a shovel. But George's younger brother, Harry, fell through the ice.
George, help him! So George jumped in to save Harry?
Yes, but as a result, George now has a bad ear.
Oh, sure, the icy water infection, I get it.
Now look, Clarence, a few months later, young George was working after school at Gower's drugstore. But on this day, Mr. Gower received a telegram informing him that his only son had just died of influenza. Devastated, Mr. Gower was trying to drown his sorrow in whiskey when...
Gower's drugs. Mrs. Blaine? What? Well, George have delivered that medicine by now. Wait, here he comes. I'll send it over. Goodbye. George, did you deliver that prescription?
Well, no, Mr. Gower,
Why didn't you deliver that right away? The little Blaine girl's sick. You lost it, didn't you?
No, Mr. Gower, here it is.
Here? Why, you...
Ow! Mr. Gower, my ear!
You good for nothing. Lazy loafer.
Ow! You're hurting my sore ear!
What are you trying to do? Ruin me?
Ow! No, Mr. Gower! You put something wrong in those pills.
Shut up, you little...
Ow! Look! I know you're sad. You're upset about your son dying. You've been drinking, but you put something bad in these capsules. I didn't know what to do.
Huh? The capsules?
Look at them, Mr. Gower. You took the powder from this bottle. It's poison.
Poison? Poison? Oh, my God.
Don't hurt my sore ear again, please.
Poison? Oh, George.
That's why I didn't deliver the medicine, Mr. Gower. I wanted to ask my pop to make sure, but he was busy. He couldn't...
George, forgive me, George.
I won't ever tell a soul, Mr. Gower. I know you're sad. I won't tell anyone. Hope to die.
Oh, George.
Little Mary Hatch was at the soda fountain that day. She heard it all, but she too never told a soul.
My, George sure took a beating, but he did the right thing.
Well, George grew up and he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't enough money. So he worked 4 years at the Bailey Building and Loan Association.
Building and loan?
Yes. George's father was in the building and loan business. He and George's Uncle Billy. But it was a case of high ideals and low bank account.
Those two always seem to go together.
Yeah, anyway, George worked for his father and saved enough to pay for college. But first, he was going to summer in Europe, working his way across on a cattle boat. Full of wanderlust, George wanted to do a little traveling before college.
You know, Pop, as good as Ma's apple pie is, and it's peachy for an apple pie, I've had enough. It's hard to believe that this is my last night in the good old Bailey boarding house.
We're gonna miss you, George.
Oh, and I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. And you, Mother. And everyone else in Bedford Falls.
You certainly earned your chance, son.
Oh, and I'm gonna take it. Say, Pop, you don't look so good. You okay?
I don't know. I had another run-in with Henry Potter today.
Mr. Potter? That old money-grubbing buzzard? I thought when you put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us a little.
So did I. He may be the richest man in town,
But the most miserable, if you ask me. I don't understand somebody like Mr. Potter. I mean, he can't begin to spend all the money he has. And...
Well, Potter's a cripple, George. Spent his life in that wheelchair. He's frustrated. Think about it. If you were...
But Potter owns everything he wants in this town. Everything except for the Bailey building alone.
Maybe that's why he hates us so much. To him, we're just a bunch of foolish... Hey, George! Can I borrow your tuxedo cufflinks for tonight's dance?
Sure thing. Help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? Here? In your suitcase?
Harry, George won't be needing a tuxedo on a cattle boat.
You never know. Say, where'd you get that beat-up old suitcase anyways, George?
At the Emporium, Harry. Mr. Gower bought it for me.
It's a going-away present?
Yeah, far away. See, one of these days, that bag is going to be plastered with exotic travel stickers. You know, like Rome and Athens, Baghdad and Samarkand and...
I guess you're going to have a pretty full summer, George.
Oh, I'm going to have a pretty full life.
So, why don't you come to the dance tonight?
Your graduation dance? Nah, Harry, I'd be bored to death.
Oh, but it'd be a wonderful death.
And there'll be lots of pretty girls, son.
And we're using the new gym floor tonight. That was a brilliant idea of yours, George. Putting the pool under the gym, save the high school thousands.
Well, Pop, that's just the start for me. You just wait. The things I'm gonna do, the things I'm gonna see.
Like the tuxedo cufflinks?
Oh, try upstairs, Harry. My top drawer.
Okay, yikes. I gotta hurry. Bye.
Was I like that when I graduated high school, Pop?
Pretty much. I sure wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Yeah, but Harry and I've got that all figured out, see. He'll take over my job at the building and loan, work and save for 4 years like I did, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Oh, he's no younger than I was.
But you were born older, George.
How's that, Pop? You know my trick here?
I said you were born older.
Well, then that's why I gotta hurry now. There's a whole world out there just waiting for me to conquer it.
George, when you get out of college, you wouldn't consider coming back to the building and loan, would you?
What? Come back? Oh, no, Pop. You know I couldn't. I couldn't face being cooped up in that shabby little office for the rest of my life, with all of those...
I see.
Look, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean it like that, but it's just the business of nickels and dimes. It just...
I know. Spending a life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on the length of a pipe. I understand, George.
Do you, Pop? Staying here, I would just go crazy. I want to do something big. I want to do something important.
But in a small way, we are doing something important, son. In that shabby little office, we help people buy their own homes. We help their dreams come true.
I know, Pop, but most of my friends already finished college, and if I didn't get away now, I'd bust.
I guess you're right.
You know what I mean, don't you, Pop?
I know this town isn't no place for nobody when you aren't willing to crawl to Mr. Potter.
That's not for me, Pop. Not that kind of life.
Yeah, you've got talent, George. A gift. So, go travel, get yourself that education. Then do what you want, son.
You know what, Pop? And get ready for a shock. I think you're a pretty great guy.
Well, thank you. Look, why don't you go over to Harry's dance? See the new gym floor over the pool. You'll have fun.
Well, it is my last night in Bedford Falls. Oh, no, I guess I could drop in, inspect the retracting floor, say goodbye to some friends, maybe dance a little bit. Yeah, maybe I'll do just that. All right, I'll see you later.
So, George Bailey went to a dance. Is that important, boss?
Why, it was at the dance that he fell in the pool with Mary Hatch, and most of the rest of the graduating class of 1928.
So, George and Mary went overboard at the dance.
Later, he was walking her home. They were feeling pretty good, Clarence. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight?
And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog, eh, Mary?
We sound beautiful, George.
Well, we don't look beautiful. You should have seen me scrambling to get these dry clothes out of the locker room.
I didn't know you were the football type.
And I didn't know you were the royal robe type.
Didn't you now? My train, sir.
You're a caboose, my lady. Now, you know something, Mary? I'd almost say you were the prettiest girl in town. You look wonderful.
Well, why don't you say it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I will. But what happened to you, huh? How'd you get so grown up?
I'm gaining on you, George. Maybe we'll be in the same class at college.
Same class? Hey, how old are you anyway?
18?
18? Why, it just seems like last year you were just 17.
What? Am I too young or too old?
No. You're exactly right. Your age sort of fits you. I'm just saying you would look a little older without your clothes on.
What?
I mean without your dress on. No, I mean,
What do you mean, George?
See, what I mean is, hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah. I gotta find a rock and throw it. Bust a window.
No, George. Even though it's deserted, I love this old place. It's full of romance.
Romance? Nah, with deserted houses, you make a wish and then you try to bust a window.
But it's such a lovely old house. I want to live there someday.
In there? Ah, go on. I wouldn't live there if I were a ghost. Now watch this. That window on the second floor. Watch this, all right? Here we go. How about that, huh? A pretty good shot. I just broke that window.
What did you wish for, George?
A wish? Oh, I don't know, Mary. Not just one wish, but a whole hatful of them. You see, I'm gonna leave this crummy little town. I want to go see the world. I want to see Italy and Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And that's just this summer.
That's a good start, George.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna come back and go to college and see what they know, of course.
Of course.
And then I'm gonna go build things. I'm gonna go build airfields and skyscrapers 100 stories high and bridges a mile long. And then I'm gonna go and try to find some. What are you doing, Mary? Hey, you're a pretty good shot yourself. So, what's your wish?
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon?
Come on, Mary. What is it that you want, huh? Do you want the moon? All you gotta do is just say the word, and I'll throw a lasso around it, and I'll try to...
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Well, then what? Well, then you swallow it, and it dissolves, see? And moonbeams are gonna shoot out of your fingers and at the ends of your hair, and then, you think I'm talking too much? Yes, why don't you just kiss her? How's that? Say what? I said, why don't you just kiss her instead of talking her to death? A kiss her, huh? Youth is wasted on the wrong people. Well, hey, just a minute now, sir. You come back here and I'll show you some kissing that'll... Oh, wait, Mary, don't run off. I was just funning with the guy.
Oh.
Oh, Mary, you're
Over here, in the hydrangeas.
In the hydrangeas?
Toss me my robe, George.
Toss you your robe? Sure, I guess I'll just toss you your... Now, wait a minute.
What?
Well, this is a very interesting situation.
Oh, give me my robe, please.
Now, hold on. I've got to think this through. It isn't every day that a guy has an opportunity like this.
George Bailey!
Especially in Bedford Falls.
I'll tell your mother on you.
Oh, but she lives all the way up the street from here.
George!
Maybe I could sell tickets. Make a little spending money before my trip.
George!
I'll tell you what, Mary. I'll make you a deal. You just let me...
George!
Hey, Uncle Billy. Look here, I'm gonna kiss Mary. Just watch.
George, get in the car, quick. It's your father.
Father?
He's had a stroke.
What? My father had a...
Come on, George, get in, hurry.
Here, Mary, I gotta go.
Well, George's father died that night, Clarence, and George didn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting.
A meeting?
They had to appoint a successor for Mr. Bailey.
These are good. out loans, and the bank will have to look at these, and...
Enough discussion, gentlemen. All those in favor of approving these last loans made by our deceased president, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Mr. Potter's dissent is noted, but the motion carries. The loans are approved. Thank you, George. That's all we'll need you for. I know you got a train to catch.
Yes, well, it's actually Ernie's taxi out there. Uncle Billy?
Yes, a taxi's waiting to take George to the train and college. Hurry, George.
I'd like the board to know that George here gave up his trip to Europe to oversee things these past months. Good luck to you at college, George.
Yes, good George.
Thank you, thank you. So long, gentlemen.
Now, proceeding with our agenda, we come to the real purpose of this meeting. We must...
No, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Potter.
I've waited long enough. I want to get to my real purpose, the dissolution of this... I said I've waited long enough. Now, this institution isn't needed in this town. It competes with the bank and is a general nuisance to the sound business practices. Therefore...
That is your opinion, Mr.
It's not an opinion, it's a fact. Now that Peter Bailey is dead, I move we dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
Now wait just a minute, Potter.
No, you wait a minute. Peter Bailey was not a businessman. He was a man of high ideals, so-called, but ideals without common sense can ruin this town.
Ruin?
Of course. It isn't fair to the little people to encourage them to live beyond their means, like this Ernie Bishop, the taxi driver. I happen to know he was turned down for a home loan by the bank, but here...
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Potter. I handled Ernie Bishop's loan. You've got the papers right in front of you. His income, his insurance, his collateral, and I can personally vouch for his character.
Ah, a friend of yours, George. You see, gentlemen, if you shoot pool with an employee here, you can borrow money. And what's that getting us? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. All because starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stir them up and put impossible ideas into their heads. Now, who'll second my motion to dissolve?
You can shove your...
Now, hold on, Mr. Potter.
Oh, I meant no disrespect, George, but your father...
Now, Mr. Potter, wait just a minute. Why my father ever started this penny ante building and loan, I'll never know. But just remember this, Mr. Potter. That rabble you're talking about, well, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community.
So?
Well, is it too much for them to have to work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms with a bath? Well, anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. In my book, Mr. Potter, my father died a richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book, George. I'm talking about the building and loan.
No, you're talking about something you can't get your greedy little hands on, and it's gawing you. That's what you're talking about. Well, I've said too much. I have to leave.
That's okay, George. Come on.
That's quite enough, actually.
I apologize, gentlemen. Well, you're the board here. You can do what you want. But let me just say this. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can borrow a few dollars without having to crawl to Mr. Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy. Let's get out of here.
So what happened, George? Yeah, all Tilly and I heard was a lot of yelling.
Oh, you won't believe it, Eustace. Boy, oh boy, you should have heard George.
Oh, yeah? Right now, they're voting us out of business.
Well, after 25 years, easy come, easy go. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen to us now.
And your mother, George. Poor thing. And no job for Harry.
But I don't care, George, because it was worth it. It was worth it just to see you shut Potter's big mouth.
Yeah, who cares? I can get another job. I'm only 51. 56.
Well, you get out of here, George. You already missed your boat trip to Europe. Do you want to miss college, too? Ernie's waiting down.
George! They just voted Potter down.
Oh, boy, we're still in business. We're still in business.
What a relief, Tilly. There goes my new career, Eustace.
But there's one condition, George. They have appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? Well, no, Uncle Billy here. He's your man.
Sure, you can keep him on. You can hire anyone you'd like.
Thanks, George.
No. Now, wait just a minute. Dr. Campbell, let's get this straight. Don't you people realize I've got plans? I'm leaving. Leaving for college. Right now.
George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so.
Wait, do you mean that without George here, Potter would be able to persuade them to dissolve the whole?
Wait, boss, don't tell me. George Bailey didn't make it to college?
No, he didn't, Clarence. George gave his college money to his brother, Harry. Harry went instead.
But what about that girl, the cute one stuck in the hydrangea bush? You know, Mary.
Oh, George saw her now and again. But Mary also went away to college. And George worked 4 more years at the building alone, waiting for Harry to finish school, come back, and then take over. George still hoped to see the fields of the world, though. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela. Except, when Harry came back, he wasn't alone. There was a girl with him, his wife.
George, is that you, dear?
Oh, yes, Mother. I just thought I'd get some air.
So how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Ruth? She's swell. Harry's got all the luck.
She'll keep him on his toes.
Well, keep him in Bedford Falls anyway.
Now, Ruth's father has a good job for Harry up in Buffalo.
Yeah, in Buffalo. And that means...
Oh, you can't.
Yep, I can.
I'm sorry, George.
Yeah.
Well, did you know Mary Hatch is back from college, too?
Oh, yeah.
She's been back 3 whole days.
Mm-hmm.
Nice girl, that Mary.
Yeah, I suppose.
Oh, stop this moping, George Bailey. It's not like you.
Well, what do you want me to do, Mother?
Give me one reason why you shouldn't go see Mary.
Well, what about Sam Wainwright for one?
Sam Wainwright, hee-haw?
Sam's crazy about Mary.
Well, she's not crazy about Sam.
Not? Now, how would you know that? Was it in the newspaper? Did I miss it?
Mary's got her eye on you, George. She lights up like a firefly whenever she's around you.
A firefly, huh?
You don't want her to be an old maid, do you, George? Plus, Sam Wainwright is in New York.
Oh, is he now? So all's fair in love and war, is that it?
Don't be difficult. The right girl can help you find the answers, George.
Okay, Mother. Trying to get rid of me, huh? Well, I think I'll go find a girl and do some passionate necking.
Oh, George!
Good night, Mrs. Bailey. Oh, and by the way, do you need any books from the library?
Library? George, you go see Mary, do you hear?
Hiya, George, need a lift?
No, Ernie, I wouldn't want to rob you of a fare.
You wouldn't be robbing me of any fares, George. The taxi business is on the skids.
Then it's just like the building and loan business. You want to swap?
Actually, George, I need to talk to you. I'm gonna have to turn the deed back to you.
The deed? The deed to your house? You've only been there for 2 years, Ernie.
Yeah, but with business being so bad, I can't make the payments right now. Me and the missus will just have to move back in with her folks.
Ernie, no. I'll tell you what. Can you pay the interest?
The interest? Well, sure, I could do that, but...
Well, okay then. So keep the house and forget the principal, just for a while. You're just hitting a rough patch, that's all.
Gosh, George, I don't know how to thank you. This means so...
Taxi!
You hear that? You're back in business, Ernie.
I am? I am. Coming right up.
Attaboy, Ernie.
Hey, going somewhere, Georgie Porgy?
Oh, hello, Violet. Hi, fellas. Gosh, you look great, Vi.
Oh, and this old thing? Oh, I only wear this when I don't care how I look. Right, guys?
That's right.
Excuse me, fellas. I think I got a date. So, Georgie, what's going on? Where you heading?
I was just gonna go down to the library, I suppose.
Come on, Georgie. Don't you ever get tired of just reading about stuff?
Well, come to think of it, yes. Okay, what are you doing tonight, Violet?
Me? Not a thing.
Okay, if you're game, Vi, we can make a night of it. I gotta talk to somebody, right? What do you say?
Sure, George. It's about time. What'll we do?
We'll go out to the fields. We'll take off our shoes and walk through the grass.
The fields?
Oh, yeah. And then we can go to Bedford Falls. You gotta see them in the moonlight. There's a green pool up there. We can go swim in it.
Swim?
Well, sure. And then we can go climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise on the peaks. Come with me. We'll stay up there the whole night and it'll be the talk of the town. It'll be this terrific scandal. How about it, Vi?
George Bailey, have you lost your mind? Walk through the grass in my bare feet? It must be 10 miles to the falls, and this is the only thing I have to wear. You expect me to go swimming in this?
Shh, okay, Violet, okay, shh.
What's with you, George? For a guy who wanted to sail around the world, you don't seem to have been around the block. I mean, come on.
Fine, just forget the whole thing, forget it.
George? What are you doing out there?
Nothing. Oh, is that you, Mary?
I think so. Well?
What? Oh, me. No, I was just, passing by.
Yes, several times. I wondered if you were picketing or haunting me.
Now, why would I be haunting you?
But your mother phoned saying you were coming over.
My mother phoned. The nerve of... Well, I just happened to be passing by, that's all. I don't have any firm kind of...
So? Are you coming in, or aren't you?
Well, all right, if you insist. I'll come in for a minute. But I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Right. You're your own man.
So when did you get back?
Tuesday?
Where'd you get that dress?
New York. Do you like it?
Well, it's all right, I guess. I thought you would take up New York like Sam and the rest.
Oh, I worked there on a few vacations, but I don't know. I got homesick.
Homesick? You got homesick for Bedford Falls?
Well, it is home, after all. No point in just standing here on the porch. Come on in.
I don't understand this. I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
So you're leaving?
No, I don't want to be rude. I'll stay a while since I'm here.
So, it's nice about your brother and his new wife, isn't it?
Yeah, Ruth, it's okay.
What's the matter? You don't like her?
Well, of course I do. Ruth's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're down on, huh?
No. Marriage is all right for some people. I mean, it's fine for Harry and Sam Wainwright, and you.
For Sam?
Mary, who's down there?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What's he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Nothing. Not a thing. I was just passing by.
Coward. He's making violent love to me, Mother.
He is? You tell him to go right back home. Sam Wainwright said he'd call today from New York.
I guess so, Mother. So, George, how about a little music here?
You know, your mother really shouldn't... that. I didn't come over here just to have to...
Well, what did you come here for?
Well, I don't know, Mary. You're supposed to be the girl with all the answers, huh? So how about you tell me?
Why don't you go home?
Well, maybe I will go home.
Mary, the telephone.
Sheesh! Still don't even know why I came here.
Mary!
Good night.
Good night.
Mary, the phone!
You know, with all this sounding, you'd think that maybe somebody could just...
Mary, maybe it's Sam. Answer it.
You'd think what, George?
Mary, get the phone.
All right already. I'll get it, Mother. Ugh. George, on your way out, could you turn off the phonograph?
Well, sure, I'd be glad to. Doggone crazy song. Let me out of here.
Hello? Hatch residence. Oh, Sam.
Hey, Mary, so good to hear your voice.
Is it?
Excuse me, Mary. It seems I forgot my hat.
Oh, Sam, how nice of you to call. All the way from New York. Hee-haw.
What, Mary? Oh, yeah, hee-haw.
You know, Sam, an old friend of yours is here, George Bailey.
What? Old Mouseback George in person?
Yup, old Mouseback George.
Hee-haw, well, put on George. I want to say hi.
Wait a minute, Sam. George?
Mary, you idiot. Sam doesn't want to talk to George.
He does, too. He even asked for George.
What is it, Mary? You see, I'm in a hurry, and I gotta get...
Wait, it's Sam Wainwright. He wants to talk to you.
Sam Wainwright? Oh.
Sam, here's George.
Hi, Sam. Yee-haw.
Hee-haw? Hey, some pal you are. What are you doing there? Trying to steal my girl?
Steal your girl? Hey, nobody's trying to steal any girl. Mary, here's Sam again.
George, wait a minute, wait. I want to speak to both of you. Put Mary on the extension upstairs.
He wants you on the extension upstairs.
I can't. Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
George, just put your head a little closer. We can both hear.
Both of... Okay.
There. All right. Sam, we're both on the line.
Good. Now I have a plan that's going to make us all rich. George, remember one time in Martini's Tavern you told me about making plastics out of chili beans?
Chili beans?
Soybeans. I mean soybeans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, soybeans, okay.
Well, my father's investing in it, George. We're gonna open a factory outside Rochester. What do you think of that?
Rochester? A factory? Well, why don't you just put it here in Bedford Falls? The old tool machinery works just closed down. You could get that building for a song. And plus, there's tons of labor here, too.
Hey, now you're talking, George, but here's the point. Mary, you listen to this, too. If you've got any money, put every dime into our stock.
Stock?
Come on, George, we might even have a job for you. That is, if you're not still married to that broken-down old building and loan. Here's your chance to get in on the ground floor.
Ground floor? That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, Sam.
Mary, are you still listening?
Yes, Sam, I'm here.
You tell George this is the chance of a lifetime. You hear? The chance of a lifetime.
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone.
Here's George again. George.
Now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics. I don't want any job. I don't want any ground floors. And I don't want to get married. Ever. To anyone. Do you understand me?
Oh, George.
I want to do what I want to do, and you're not going to trick me into... any...
George.
Mary...
I know.
So George and Mary got, what do they say, hitched?
Yes, Clarence. They were married that October.
I always cry. In October.
And the two headed off for their honeymoon in Ernie Bishop's taxicab.
Here you go, newlyweds. Bert the cop sent this bottle of bubbly, but don't tell anyone. Prohibition and all that.
Mum's the word, Ernie.
So where are you two headed on this deluxe honeymoon?
You see this fat wad of cash? Count it, Mary. It's our kitty.
So
we're shooting the works, Ernie. A week in New York, a week in Bermuda. It'll be the highest hotels, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Hey, well, congratulations, George. You're finally getting out of Bedford Falls. Then what?
Well, gee, I don't know. And then what, dear?
The moon. Who cares?
Hey, that's right. You know what, Mrs. Bailey? I haven't kissed you nearly enough.
Well, then come here, you.
Whoa, slow down, lovebirds. Hey, any fond farewells, George? Here's Genesee Street.
So long, Bedford Falls. So long, old building and loan. So long, Uncle Billy and Mr. Potter. And, well, everyone else, too. We're sneaking out and we won't be coming back. Ever!
Oh, my goodness.
Whoa. Hey, George, there's something going on here. Hey, look at that crowd over there in front of the bank. Looks like the door's locked.
What? Pull over, Ernie.
What is it, George?
Hey, George, that's what you call a bank run.
A bank run?
Yeah, if you've got any money in the bank, you'd better pull it out in a hurry.
Oh, George, no. Let's not stop, please. Ernie, just go straight to the train station. George.
Oh, my God. Just wait a minute, honey. I gotta see what this is. I'll be back in a second.
No, George, please. George, don't go. Ernie, stop him.
We'll return to the WKKC Radio Theater presentation of It's a Wonderful Life after a brief 15-minute intermission.
Hi, I'm Olivia Gilbert. I've been in King's Kids for 8 years, and this is my 12th show. King's Kids to me is a family. We're this massive community, this massive family, and it's full of some of the most supportive people I've ever met. I know that no matter what's happening in the outside world, like how my day is gone, I can come to rehearsal, I'll be surrounded by these amazing people, and my day just gets exponentially better. I get to do my favorite thing with my favorite people, and I'm so incredibly thankful that I've gotten to do this for so long. Hi, my name is Alana Goderer. I've been in King's Kids for about a year now, and King's Kids just means the world to me. It's such a fun experience. I love going. I get to see all my friends, and we have such a good time, and just to see all the people that come and just support us is just so amazing, and I love it.
Hi, I'm Alexia. I've been in King's Kids for 4 years, and this is my final production. One of my favorite parts about being in King's Kids is all of the memories that I made with the people here and the bonds that I share with the people here. It's been the highlight of my high school and my teenage years, and I'm never going to forget it.
Hi, my name is Grace Camiso. This is my 4th year in King's Kids, and It's a Wonderful Life / Christmas Carol is my 6th show. What I love about King's Kids is the people and how they always make me feel like I can be myself. And before I joined King's Kids, I was really nervous, and I've met some of my best friends, and my voice has really grown. I can't thank everyone enough for just what an awesome opportunity, doing the thing I love with the people I love, and I want to thank Mr. D and everyone else that makes King's Kids as special as it is.
Hey guys, my name's Michaela Cusack. I've been in King's Kids for 4 years. That's 5 fingers. 4 years. And, it's pretty sweet. I like it there. There's a lot of nice people. And I don't feel afraid to be me.
Hi, so I'm Tony Camiso. This is my 4th year with King's Kids, and this will be my 8th show. What theater means to me is it's a way to express myself while having an enjoyable time doing so. Theater's been a part of my life, I want to say, for about 7 years.
Hi, I'm Jacob Ford. I've been in King's Kids for 1 year now, and I've been in theater for as long as I can remember. King's Kids to me is a group that will be there for me no matter what. Whether that's helping me out after having a bad day, calming show night nerves before I hop on stage, or not leaving me alone until I audition for that one group. I know that they'll always be there for me to support me and cheer me on.
To me, King's Kids is a family like no other. It's a very welcoming community that I'm grateful to have been part of the past few years. I've met so many great friends, and everyone is just very talented and supportive. And we've gone through so much in the past few years, and even though we've had a lot of struggles along the way, we've still produced great shows, and I'm so lucky to be a part of it.
Hi, my name is Kate Camiso, and I've been King's Kids for 4 years. Something that Mr. Daly always said to us was when we were stressing out about something like school or another show is, hey, this is a safe space. We don't have to worry about that here. And that really is what King's Kids always meant for me. If I was stressed out about something for school, or if I was in another show and I felt like something wasn't going well, I could just look at the show that we were creating in that moment and realize how proud I was of it. Since it's such a student-run group, we always had the chance to make something different or create it how we wanted, and then come together at the end of a few months and realize how proud we were of creating such a wonderful show and doing it with such wonderful people who were often really your best friends because of how much time you spent together. It was a really great group, and I am super proud to be a part of it.
to me, King's Kids is more of a group. It's more of a family than a group, if that makes sense. It's a place where after a long day of school and a varying amount of tests, I could just relax and have fun.
Hi, my name is Emily Guba, and I've been doing King's Kids for 5 years, and this is my 8th show. King's Kids is like a family to me. They are the sweetest, kindest, most amazing people I've ever met, and I can just be myself around them. When I'm at King's Kids, it's like everything else outside of it just disappears, and you don't have to worry about anything else, and all you're thinking about is what you're doing, and you're just in the moment. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this amazing opportunity.
Hi, my name is Victoria Bender. I've been doing King's Kids for about 3 years. It's a fun place. You can meet new friends, learn new things about other people. You can do all sorts of fun things. Yes, it is also a place where you can do music places, but you know what? It's really that important.
King's Kids in theater is it's like a job. It's a home away from home. It's a second family, you know? You can go there, put on a show, entertain people, but all your friends are there. You can just relax and have fun while helping people, entertaining people, raising funds for charity. It's a way to give back to the community while having fun.
Hi, my name is Lydia Smith, and this is my 2nd year at King's Kids. And I would say that King's Kids is a really good way to express your creativity. I'm on the dancing part of things usually, which isn't applicable to this show, but usually it gives me a chance to create dance and make the artistry from the dance on to other people and then see the big picture, and it's really cool to work with all these other people. And it's a good learning experience to be able to teach people.
Hi everyone, my name is Micah. I've been doing King's Kids on and off. I started in 5th grade, took a little bit of a break after middle school and came back into it as a sophomore. And to answer the question what King's Kids means to me, it means a lot actually, because of King's Kids, I've really gotten into theater. It was the first place I ever did a show, and everyone was so supportive. Mr. Daly was really easy to work with and very helpful because I had no idea what I was doing. So because of that, I got into theater quite a bit. I do all the school shows. I've done shows at places like Curtain Call, Park Playhouse and stuff. So it's kind of the origin of a little passion of mine. So I owe King's Kids that, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. So thanks, King's Kids.
So I'm Peter Moster. This will be my 5th show in King's Kids, and I've been here since been here for 4 years. This will be my 4th year. And honestly, for me, King's Kids and theater in general is just like to have fun, do cool stuff with my friends, and singing's kind of fun too. So that's a good addition to it. I guess it's just nice to show yourself what you can do and express yourself.
Hi, my name is Ansley, and
what King's Kids means to me, it's really just, the first thing that comes to mind is just the community. Because I've only been at King's Kids for a couple of years, and already it feels like it's been so much longer just because of the friends I have, and I just think it's a really good atmosphere. And because, you know, you show up and you're at rehearsal and everyone's there and you get right to work, but you're working with your friends, and that's really just the best part.
My name is Carly Kavanaugh, and I have been in King's Kids for 7 years. My favorite part about King's Kids is that we're like a family. We come together and meet amazing people with similar interests, and we get to support and care about each other, and we grow together as a family. I think that we're able to express our personalities in a creative manner, and I think that that's very important as a group. So I'm very glad to be a part of King's Kids.
Hi, my name is Emma Camiso, and I've been in King's Kids since my freshman year of high school. Theater has been extremely important in my life, especially during my years in King's Kids. Theater is a fun way to express myself and share my emotions with an audience. It also allows me to tell my audience a story. During those 2 hours performing, I can become a different person. The audience will see me differently and perhaps learn something they didn't know before. Some of the best times I've had performing have been at King's Kids. At King's Kids, we are allowed to make the show our own. We have more time to explore our characters, and most importantly, King's Kids is a supportive and welcoming community. This is what makes theater at King's Kids so enjoyable. We are there to have a good time and produce a meaningful show with the people we care about. I'm so grateful to be part of this community and hope that other kids will find as much joy in it as I have.
Let the stars in the sky remind us of man's compassion.
And now, Act 2 of the WKKC Radio Theater presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. In heaven, the superintendent of angels is still reviewing George Bailey's case history. Clarence, an apprentice angel, is eager to depart for his mission to Earth.
Goodness, boss, I've heard enough background. If George Bailey's contemplating suicide, I'd better head down to Earth right away.
Hold it, Clarence. We're not anywhere near the point where George Bailey is thinking of taking his life.
What? Why not?
You'll never get your wings unless you can be patient. Now, where were we?
Okay, well, George and Mary were heading out of town on their honeymoon when they ran into a run, a bank run, I mean.
Ah, yes. It was the financial panic of 1932. You see, bank troubles were very prevalent back then.
Whoa, what's going on, boss?
In the lobby of the building and loan, dozens of worried shareholders were clamoring for their savings. Meanwhile, George found Uncle Billy in his office.
What is this, Uncle Billy? I saw a line of people outside of the bank, but what's with the angry crowd in our lobby?
It's a panic, George. They want to withdraw their shares.
They want their money.
But we're in a pickle. The bank called in our loan this morning.
Our loan?
Shut up, Jimmy.
Forget the bird. The bank called in our loan?
Well, they've got to run. They need cash, so they demanded we pay off our loan immediately. I handed over all our cash. I had to.
You handed over all of our cash? But that means...
The whole town's gone nuts, George. Now we're in the same pickle as the bank. Who'd have thought you couldn't trust the American banking system to be... Hello, this is Billy... What? Potter. George, it's Henry Potter.
For me? George Bailey here.
George, are you okay? Have you called the police to quell that unruly crowd in your lobby yet?
The police? Now, why would we need the police?
I just want you to know, George, that in this financial crisis, I'm here to help.
Help?
Yes. I've just guaranteed the bank sufficient funds for a week. They'll close down for a bank holiday, then reopen.
Potter just took over the bank. I see. And they'll reopen under new management, of course.
Of course. Now, this may cost me a fortune, but I'm willing to help out your shareholders too. If they need the cash, they can sell their shares to me. I'm paying 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, no, they won't. There'll be no fire sale here. We don't need your bailout.
You don't have any cash and you know it. That means bankruptcy. And your working people will lose everything. Am I wrong?
Well,
I know your charter, George. If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you'll never reopen.
You don't miss a trick, do you, Potter? But you're gonna miss this one. Shut up, Jimmy.
Well, George, I guess you told him.
Yeah, Uncle Billy, but he's right. Our charter requires us to stay open until 6 p.m. If we don't, the state can take away our license.
Stay open till 6? Without any money? It'll take a miracle.
Oh, come on. Let's see what that crowd wants out there. Okay. Hold on now, please. Please, everybody, just don't panic. I know you want your money. Look, I just talked with Mr. Potter on the phone. He says the bank will reopen next week. Next week.
We want our money, George. Where's our money?
Okay, come on, everybody, calm down. Wait just a minute now. Listen, you've got it all wrong. Your money isn't here. Now, just a minute, let me explain. Your money's not here, and it's not in the safe. No, the money you invested in this building and loan was put into people's houses. It's in Ernie's house, and the Grimaldi house, and your house, and hundreds of others.
That's how the building and loan works. If you all want your money now, what do you want us to do? Foreclose on them? Throw them out of their homes?
I don't care. I got $242 in shares here. $242 won't break you. Close my account. I want my money. Now.
Okay. Just sign this form and you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days? What do you mean?
Well, that's what you all agreed to when you bought your shares.
I got my money.
Where did you get
Old
it?
Man Potter will pay you 50 cents on the dollar for your shares.
Now what do you say, George?
Well, now we have to stick to our agreement.
Oh, yeah? Come on, everybody. Let's take our shares to Porter. Half is better than nothing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, wait, come on, folks. Please, just don't do this. Stop! Listen. If Potter gets a hold of the building and loan, there won't be a decent house built in this town ever again. Can't you see? He's just taken over the bank. He's already got the bus line, the department store. Now he's after us. You know why? We're cutting into his business. He wants you to keep living under his shacks and paying the rent he decides.
But George...
Eddie, last year things were tough for you. You couldn't always pay, right? Do you think Potter would let you keep your house?
Well...
Listen, everybody. Potter is buying because you're panicking and he's not. To him, you're just a bunch of bargains. Now, we can get through this, but only if we stick together. We've got to believe in each other. We've got to have a little faith.
Well, I mean...
Well, that's a lot of fine talk, George. But I've got doctor bills to pay.
My husband got laid off. We need our money.
Yeah. What do we live on until the bank reopens?
You can't feed your kids on faith. George, darling.
Oh, hey, Mary.
How much do they need? You still got some money.
We do? Oh, yes, we do.
The honeymoon money.
Wait, folks, I've got $2,000 right here. It's my own money.
Well, I guess that could last us until the bank reopens.
I hope so, Uncle Billy. Sure would have made a nice honeymoon.
Bought some furniture, too.
Okay, everybody, we've got some cash. All right, Charlie, how much do you need?
$242.
Come on, Charlie, just enough to tide you over.
I want my $242.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Charlie here $242.
That closes my account then.
No, that does not close your account.
It's just a loan, Charlie, just a loan.
Okay, all right, now Eddie.
Well, I got $300 in here.
But come on, Eddie, how much do you need?
$20 then.
Thank you, Eddie, thank you. Okay, Mrs. Davis, how about you?
But this is your own money, George.
That's okay. How much do you need?
Well, would $17.40 be too much?
$17.40. Oh, bless you. Now pay it back when you can. All right, who's next? Now let's try to spread it out. We can do this. You gotta spread it out.
Look at the clock, George, look.
Oh, I'm looking, Uncle Billy, I'm looking. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1.
6 o'clock. We made it.
Lock that door, Eustace. Lock that door.
Right, George.
Ha! We're still in business, Uncle Billy, even if we only got $2 left.
Maybe they'll breed in the safe, eh, Eustace?
Yeah, like bunnies.
They better.
George, telephone.
Okay, Tilly. Oh, and by the way, call my wife, would you? Forgot all about her.
Mrs. Bailey's on the line.
No, I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want Mrs. Bailey. And wait. Mrs. Bailey, that is my wife. Give me that phone already, would you? Hello? Is this Mrs. Bailey?
Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey.
Well, Mary, we survived. I'm sorry that I had to...
Now that you're done saving things, come home.
I just...
Come home.
Come home? What home?
Our home.
What?
Our home, George, at 320 Sycamore.
320 Sycamore, huh? And whose home is that?
Our home.
What?
Our home, saphead.
But Mary, how could we possibly have a...
Right now.
Okay, yeah, right now. Okay, sure, all right, sure.
I love you.
I love you too, honey. I'm coming home.
Clarence, do you know where 320 Sycamore was?
His mother-in-law's house?
No. It was the old Granville house where George and Mary threw rocks and made wishes. You see, her wish was to marry George and live in that Granville house. And that's where they honeymooned. That's where they set up their house. And that's where they were still living 2 years later, when Mr. Potter asked George to drop by his office.
Now, George, I suppose you're wondering why you're here.
I have no idea, Mr. Potter. I'm sure you do.
That's what I admire about you, George. You're like me. You get right to the point. Okay, well, George, I'm giving up.
What? Giving up?
Yes, as you know, I nearly run everything in this town. Everything except that Bailey building and loan, of course. I've tried to gain control of it for years, but you've outwitted me, evaded me, and defeated me. Am I right?
Well, actually, yes.
That's because you're a smart man, George. 2 years ago, during the bank panic, you and I were the only ones who kept our heads. You saved the building and loan, and, well, I saved everything else.
Well, most people would say you stole everything else.
Envious people might say that, George. The suckers might say that. But we both know that I was just being a smart businessman. And that's what I'm being right now.
So you're just giving up?
Well, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em.
What? Now, if you're suggesting that...
Wait, George, wait. Don't get up. Don't leave, George. Take it easy now. I've told you my side of the story, but let's look at your side of the story.
What?
Your side. Now, you're a young man, 27, 28 married, making, what, 40 a week?
45.
45. And if you were some common ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing well. But, George, you're no common ordinary yokel. You're an intelligent, resourceful, and ambitious young man who hates his job. Yes, George, you hate the building and loan almost as much as I do. You've been dying to get out of this town ever since you were born. You see your friends, your brother go places, while you're trapped here, trapped into frittering away your life, playing nursemaid to a bunch of garlic eaters. Is this the correct picture, George, or do I exaggerate?
So, what's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is, George, I want to hire you.
Hire me? To do what?
To manage my affairs, of course. Oversee my properties, and I can start you off at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year?
Of course. And you're worth it too, boy. Wouldn't you like to live in the best house in town? Get your wife some fine clothes, a trip to Europe every year?
Europe? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey. You remember me, the building and loan George Bailey.
Yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, providing he has the brains to climb aboard.
Yes, but, I mean, what about the building and loan?
Forget the building and loan, man. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Do we have a deal or not?
I mean, $20,000 a year. A nice home, Europe. Can you give me 24 hours just to think about it? Ask my wife.
Of course, George. Meanwhile, I'll draw up the papers. Let's shake on it, my boy.
Okay, Mr. Potter. See, I never thought that you and I would...
Is something wrong, George? We're just shaking hands over business.
No, I can't do it. I don't need 24 hours. I know right now. The answer's no. No.
What?
If you offered me $1 million to stay in Bedford Falls to be your stooge, the answer would still be no.
Why?
Because the whole world shouldn't revolve around you or your money. Some things can't be bought off, and some people can't be bought off, and I'm one of them. I don't need you or your money. Now let me out of here.
You'll eat those words, George Bailey. You're a failure, just like your father. Just don't know it yet.
Sorry I'm so late, Mary. What, are you bored waiting for me?
Just knitting, George. So, what did Mr. Potter want to see you about?
Nothing. Just to talk, I guess. But geez, why did you marry a guy like me anyway?
Well, I didn't want to be an old maid.
And I was gonna change the world. I was gonna go places and build things. I was gonna give you the moon, but instead, what have I given you, huh? No nice house, no fine clothes, no trip to Europe. Some husband I am. I feel terrible.
Me too. Mornings especially.
I mean, you could have married anybody successful. Somebody like Sam Wainwright. Anybody else.
But I didn't want anybody else. I wanted my baby to look like you.
You didn't even get a honeymoon. No fancy dinners, no what? You want your what to look like me?
My baby.
Your baby? What, Mary, are you telling me you're on the nest?
George Bailey Lasso Stork.
Well, Clarence, Mary had her baby, a boy they named Petey.
Oh, that's nice.
And then another one, a girl, Janie.
Good for them.
But, of course, George never got out of Bedford Falls.
He didn't?
No. Year after year, George slaved away at the building alone, helping folks like Mr. Martini move into their own homes in the new development, Bailey Park. Hey, Martini, you renting a new house?
Rent? Ha! You hear that, Mr. Bailey? I own this house, me, Giuseppe Martini. I own my own house. No more we live like a pigs in a potter's field.
George kept on dreaming and hoping. Mary had another baby, Susan, whom they nicknamed Zuzu.
How charming.
And then came the war. Mary ran the USO and had another boy, Tommy. Uncle Billy and Gower sold war bonds. Old Mr. Potter headed the draft board, of course. Violet joined the Waves until they found out her way of raising morale would sink the Navy.
Oh my.
Bert the cop got wounded in Tunisia and received the Silver Star. Ernie, the cab driver, was captured by the Nazis but escaped from a prison camp. And George's brother Harry, you remember him?
Yes, he moved to Buffalo.
Right, he did. But Harry became a real hero. As a Navy flyer, he shot down 15 planes, 2 of them just as they were about to crash into a ship full of soldiers.
And George, what did George do in the war?
Well, George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. He was a designated 4F due to his bad ear. So he served as an air raid warden, ran the scrap drives, rubber drives, plastic drives. Like the rest of the country, on VE Day, he wept and prayed. And on VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
Well then, we're just about up to today, aren't we, boss?
Yes. The only thing you don't know about George Bailey is what happened that has him down there at this very moment wanting to die.
Suicide. Well, what is it, boss?
Okay. Today is the day before Christmas. And in addition to the holiday preparations, George is very excited.
Telly Eustace, did you see the newspaper? Commander Harry Bailey, famous Navy ace, decorated by President, my brother, the Medal of Honor.
Gosh, George, that's just swell.
Gosh, George!
Shut up, Jimmy.
Commander Bailey downed 15 enemy planes, the last a kamikaze, just as it was about to dive into a troop transport. Just think of it, Harry saved hundreds of lives. Hey, where's Uncle Billy, Eustace?
He's at the bank, George. But the bank examiner's here, waiting for him.
Well, good afternoon.
Carter, bank examiner.
Yes, of course. Hey, you know what? My brother's picture's here in the newspaper. The president is decorating him today.
Yes, well, I suppose they do that sort of thing. Now, about the books.
George?
Violet, how are you? Did you see the paper? It's all about Harry's homecoming and...
Can I see you for a minute, George? Privately.
Privately? Okay, Vi. We can just go into my...
Mr. Bailey, I'd like to finish your audit tonight so I can go home to Elmira and spend Christmas with my family.
Oh, yes, that's right. I just have to, Tilly, show the books to,
Carter, bank examiner.
Of course. Can you, Tilly?
Sure, George. I'll bring them into the conference room. Come right this way.
Carter.
Bank examiner!
Shut up, Jimmy.
Violet, into my office.
Thanks, George.
So what can I do for you, Vi?
The letter you promised?
The letter? Oh, yes, of course, the letter of recommendation. I was right in the middle of writing it when all this stuff about Harry came up.
Like I told you on the phone, George, I'm leaving for New York. I gotta make a fresh start.
All right, well, how's this? To whom it may concern, the bearer, Miss Violet Bick, has been employed here at the Bailey Building and Loan for the past 2 years.
That's lying, George.
Now, Vi. She demonstrated intelligence.
A lie?
Ability.
A lie.
And good character.
Character? If I had any character,
I'm happy to give her my wholehearted endorsement.
Gee, thanks, George.
Come on now. It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start somewhere new. Here's something to help you get started.
No, oh no, George, I can't take that.
Come on, you're broke, aren't you? Don't you want to hawk your furs and hat like that too and walk to New York? It's a loan, Violet. That's all. I'm in the loan business, and besides, you'll get a job.
Yeah. Sure.
Good luck, Vi.
I'm glad to know you, George Bailey. Merry Christmas, Georgie.
The same to you, Vi. And say hello to New York for me.
Hello, New York!
Shut up, Jimmy.
Shut up, Jimmy!
Eustace, where's that Uncle Billy?
He's making a deposit at the bank.
At the bank! At the bank! Shut up, Jimmy!
Well, Mr. Potter, I thought I heard you wheeling in here. Here to personally guard your money? What, your vault's not strong enough?
Look out, Bailey, you old fool, my wheelchair!
Did you see the news? Harry Bailey gets Medal of Honor. What'll those Bailey boys do next?
Huh? Let me see that newspaper.
Sure, here.
What does that slacker George think? You know, about Harry being decorated.
Well, if that slacker George had gone, he'd have earned 2 Medals of Honor.
Oh, but he didn't go. Bad ear. He heard everything but the call to arms.
Well, make sure to read the part about the parade for Harry tomorrow. Sorry I can't chat more, you old thief. I gotta go make a deposit.
Next customer, please.
Hello, let's see here. Here you are, bank book, deposit slip, and a Merry Christmas to you.
To you too, Mr. Bailey. But, haven't you forgotten something?
I forget things all the time.
So, Mr. Bailey, where's the money?
What?
You want to make a deposit, don't you?
Well, of course, I want to deposit $8,000.
Well, then it's customary to bring the money with you.
The money? The money! It's gone! Where did I put that money?
Guard! Wheel me out of here.
Take note, Clarence. Uncle Billy couldn't find the deposit money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Mr. Potter.
The money was in the newspaper? So that's why George and Uncle Billy are scouring the street.
Look by the curb, Uncle Billy. I'll look by the mailbox.
I just don't know what happened to it, George. I just don't know.
$8,000! Not our money! The depositor's money! And the bank examiner's already here.
George, we've traced every step I took.
Well, if you didn't drop it, maybe you never put the envelope in your pocket in the first place.
Maybe, but I'm no good to you, George. No good.
Come on, you gotta think! Think!
I can't think. I just can't.
Where's that money, you old fool? This means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. One of us is going to jail, and it's not gonna be me. You keep looking. I'm going home.
George!
What's the matter, George? You haven't said a word since you came home.
How can I, with Janie banging on that piano? Does she have to keep playing that over and over and over again?
I gotta practice for the Christmas party, Daddy. What is it, dear? Another hectic day?
Oh, yeah. Another red letter day for the Baileys.
Mom! Here's Zuzu's plate. Hey, Dad.
Not now, Petey.
The Browns next door got a brand new car. You should see it.
What's the matter with our car, huh? Is it not good enough for you?
Sorry, Dad. I only...
Thanks for bringing Zuzu's plate, dear. All right, run along now.
Okay, I'll finish on the decorations.
Zuzu's eating in her room? What's the matter with her?
Oh, she caught a little cold coming home from school. Didn't button up her coat. She got a flower surprise and didn't want to crush it, so she...
What do you mean, a little cold?
Oh, it's okay, dear. The doctor said it was nothing serious.
The doctor? The doctor came?
Suzu's got a little temperature, just 99 point...
It's this drafty old house. It's no wonder we don't all have pneumonia.
George.
I mean, why did we have to live here in the first place, huh? Why this crummy little town?
What's wrong, dear?
Everything's wrong. And why did we have to have all these kids anyway?
Daddy, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going, George?
To see Zuzu.
Daddy!
Are you okay, Zuzu? I heard you got a cold.
I want a flower at school, Daddy. Can you give it a drink of water?
Drink of what? Okay. I'll...
Daddy, you crushed it!
Oh, I didn't mean to. I was just trying to...
Fix it, Daddy. Paste it.
There. See, it's all pasted. Good as new.
Thank you, Daddy. You can do anything.
Anything? Now, you try to get some sleep, darling. You'll get better.
Merry Christmas, Daddy.
Mary, Zuzu felt a little, Zuzu felt a bit hot to me. Maybe we'd...
Hello? Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. Oh, she'll be all right.
Who is it, Mary?
It's Mrs. Welch, Zuzu's teacher. What? Oh, well, the doctor says she should be out of bed in time for...
Mary, give me that phone.
George, please.
Is this Mrs. Welch? Well, this is Mr. Bailey. Now, what kind of teacher are you, huh? Do you realize you could get pneumonia because of you?
George.
Silly, careless people like yourself sending kids home half naked. You know, maybe my kids aren't the best dressed kids in town, but at least they're... Hello? Hey, at least they're... Hello? Janie, enough with that piano. Cut it out. Stop!
Oh, Daddy.
George, whatever's wrong with you? Must you torture the children, too?
Well, okay, then. How about this, too?
You worked for months on that bridge model.
Are you happy now?
What's come over you? You're acting like a wild...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Janie. I'm sorry, Mary.
George.
I gotta get out of here.
So, that's what this sudden visit is for, George. You're $8,000 short in your accounts.
That's right, Mr. Potter. But you gotta help me. I'll pay any sort of interest if you still want the Bailey building loan. I guess we could arrange some,
So you say the money was lost? What if it was stolen? Maybe you should notify the police.
No, sir. You see, Harry's homecoming is tomorrow, and the publicity would...
I see. You didn't lose the money playing the market, did you, George? Horses?
Of course not, Mr. Potter.
A woman, then. Half the town's talking about you giving money to Violet Bick.
No, that has nothing to do with...
So you've come to me. Why not your buddy, Sam Wainwright?
Well, I tried to get a hold of him, but he's in Europe right now, and...
So you want a loan from me for $8,000? What do you have as collateral, George?
Well, I have some life insurance.
Life insurance? For how much?
A $15,000 policy. It's
$15,000? But what's your equity in it?
500.
500! And you want an emergency loan on Christmas Eve for 8,000?
Yes.
You're pathetic, George Bailey. For years you opposed my plans and derided my character. You said you didn't need me or my money. Did you not?
Well, yes, sir, but...
And now, suddenly, I'm very important to you. Well, do I look like, Santa Claus?
No, Mr. Potter,
You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. Well, George Bailey, what are you but a warped, frustrated young man? You dreamed of conquering the world. Look at you now. Calling to me for help. Go to that riffraff you love so well. Go beg them for help, George.
Please, Mr. Potter, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, George. I'm gonna swear out on a warrant for your arrest.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Potter. I thought we had
I'm
to
calling the sheriff. Then I'm calling the district attorney. And then the newspaper.
The sheriff, the newspaper. What about the loan and my insurance policy?
For $500 in equity. George, you're worth more dead than you are alive.
No, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go.
Where you going, George? Can't hide in a small town like this. Hello, Sheriff Baxter. This is Henry Potter. I want to report embezzlement by George Bailey.
Boss, the nerve of that Henry Potter.
Yes, Clarence. He had George's $8,000 sitting right in his desk drawer.
What will George do now, boss? Where is he?
Well, he's at Martini's Tavern. George has had a couple of drinks. He's dazed, just standing there.
Our Father, who art in heaven, oh God, I've never been a praying man, but if you're listening, show me the way, please. I'm lost, God. I'm lost. Please.
Mr. Bailey, are you all right? Martini, George here, you don't look so good.
You right, Nick. Mr. Bailey, you drinking too much. Too much. You had enough, please.
Bailey. Which Bailey are you talking about?
This Mr. Bailey, Mr. George Bailey.
George Bailey. Why you? Serves you right, Bailey. If you ever talk to my wife like that again, you'll get even worse.
Huh?
It ain't enough she slaves away teaching your stupid kids how to read and write. Then you gotta bawl her out over the phone, huh? She cried for over an hour, you louse.
Hey, beat it, Mr. Welch. You punching my best friend. Out of here, go. Throw him out to Nick.
Go on, Welch, and never mind the tab.
All right, I'm going.
Mr. Bailey, how you doing?
Martini, who was that?
That's a Mr. Welch.
Oh. That's what I get for praying. Now, where's my policy?
Huh?
My insurance policy.
Don't you worry, Mr. Bailey. Welch don't come here no more. Wait, Mr. Bailey, I get something cold for your face. Look, the blood.
No, that's all right.
Please, don't go, Mr. Bailey. Stay.
No, go on, just let me be.
Stay here, Mr. Bailey. It's snowing. Nick, take Mr. Bailey home.
No, let me alone. You hear me? Alone.
Well, Clarence, George left Martini's Tavern a few minutes ago. He's standing on the toll bridge, looking down at the river. He's about to jump. Do you have your plan ready?
I don't know, boss.
Well, if you can save George Bailey's life, you'll get your wings.
My wings? Yes, my wings. I won't let you down, boss. George Bailey! Don't jump, George. Get away from that bridge. George, stop!
We'll return in just a moment to the WKKC presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. And now, a word from our sponsors. Are you guilty of careless driving because the windshield bug spots dulled your vision?
Yes, I'm guilty.
Stop straining to see through a bug-spotted windshield. Duck's Toilet Cake gets the squash bugs off quickly, easily. Yes, even when the sun has baked them on the glass.
Remember, you need clear vision as well as good brakes to avoid accidents. You'll find Duck's Toilet Cake leaves the glass polished so crystal clear you hardly know it's there.
I feel so much safer after I clean my windshield with Duck's Toilet Cake. It leaves no dangerous oily film to pick up dust and makes night driving difficult.
Duck's Toilet Cake, the soap of 100 uses.
You better wash high, you better wash low, behind your ears too, I'm telling you so. Duck's Toilet Cake is cleaning uptown. It washes up cars, it washes up bars, and out in LA it washes up stars. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown. It's found in every bathroom, from sea to shining sea. It's used by our dear president, and it's used by you and me. You better wash high, you better wash low, behind your ears too, I'm telling you so. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown.
Buy a cake of Duck's toilet soap today. Keep it in your car. And now, the thrilling conclusion of the WKKC's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. A troubled George Bailey stands on the Bedford Falls toll bridge, convinced he's worth more dead than alive. Deep in despair, George stares at the freezing waters below, poised to end it all, when suddenly...
Help! Help me, I'm drowning! George, I'm drowning! Help! Help!
Oh my God! Wait, mister! I'm here to help! I'm coming!
You two sure are lucky my toll booth is open tonight. Otherwise, you'd have froze to death. Jumping into the river like that? Are you warming up now?
I'm fine, but what about you, mister?
Clarence, I'm fine. Although my underwear's a bit out of fashion. I passed away in it.
You passed what?
Oh, and Tom Sawyer's drying out too.
The name's George.
No, my book. I still had Tom Sawyer with me. But, you know, there is a Tom Sawyer quality to you, George. Lots of ideas, wanderlust, you know.
Uh-huh. So how'd you, fall in the river?
Fall in? I didn't fall in. I jumped in. Jumped in to save you, George.
You jumped in to save me.
Well, it worked, right? You didn't go through with your plan, did you?
Go through with what plan?
You know, suicide.
Hey, you can't commit suicide around here. I think it's against the law.
Well, it is where I come from.
Where do you come from, mister?
Oh, you know, heaven.
What?
Right.
George, your lip, it's bleeding.
Oh, that. I got a punch in the face as an answer to a prayer.
No, George, I'm the answer to your prayer. I was sent down from heaven to help you.
Oh, come on.
I'm Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
AS2?
You know, Angel Second Class.
Angel? Right. Well, I'm going to see if any other angels just saved somebody. When your clothes are dry, feel free to leave.
Thank you very much for the warm stove.
Now, wait just a minute. Why would you save me?
Because killing yourself is a sin, George, especially for $8,000.
$8,000? How in the world?
I know all about you, George Bailey, remember? Guardian angel.
Uh-huh. And you're just the kind of angel I'd get too, huh? Where are your wings?
Well, I'm an angel second class. I haven't won my wings yet. But you can help me earn them by letting me help you.
Help me, huh? Okay. You couldn't help me with, say, $8,000, could ya?
We don't use money in heaven.
Oh. Well, it sure comes handy down here, Bob.
Well, some may think so, but...
I just found out a little late is all. But since you know so much, did you know I'm worth more dead than I am alive?
Don't talk that way, George. I'll never get my wings if you keep that up. You just don't realize what you've done for people. I mean, if it hadn't been for you...
If it hadn't been for me, we'd all be better off. My wife and kids, my friends.
But killing yourself will make them happier.
I suppose you're right. I guess it would be better if I hadn't been born in the first place.
What?
I said I wish I had never been born.
Oh, that's a good one, George.
A good what?
The plan you just gave me. It reminds me of Tom Sawyer. Well, let me see here.
Hey, what in the...
Okay, George, you've got your wish. You were never born.
Never born?
That's right. You have no worries, no missing $8,000, no sheriff or Mr. Potter on your trail. You don't exist.
Hey, wait a minute. My ear. Say something in my bad ear.
You can hear me fine. You don't have a bad ear. That's because you're not the George Bailey you used to be. Now, well, you're nobody.
That's nuts. But I can hear.
Your lips stopped bleeding.
My lips stopped bleeding. I need a drink. That's what I need a drink. That's what I need. How about you, Angel? You care to join me for a drink?
A drink? Well, I am on duty and
join me. As soon as our clothes are dry, we can just
The clothes are dry, George. They never got wet.
Okay. So let's dress and walk over to Martini's Tavern and have a, I'm sorry, I'll walk. You can fly. And
Fly, but I don't have
wings, that's right. Well, you have your wings. Well, after a few drinks, we'll both be flying. Come on.
What'll it be, fellas?
Nick, is Martini still around? I want to apologize for earlier.
You want a martini? Or are you a wise guy?
No, okay. Give me a double bourbon then.
And for you?
Clarence is the name. I just love a flaming rum. No, maybe a mulled wine?
Mulled what?
Yes, with a dollop of nutmeg and just a dash of cloves. Hop to it, my lively lad.
Listen, Clarence, we serve hard liquor here for men who want to get drunk quick. If that's not good enough for you, perhaps I could convince you otherwise.
That's okay, Nick. Give him the same as me.
2 double bourbons, then.
Why is Nick acting that way? What's going on here? The tavern's all changed.
Bedford Falls has changed. You got your wish, George. You were never born. It's a different world without you.
Different world.
Good, at least somebody just made it.
What? Just made what, Clarence?
Here are your drinks.
Well, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
What'd you say? An angel?
Angel second class.
Clarence? You don't want to talk about angels in here.
Why? They don't believe in angels?
Sure, they believe in them, but you know.
They're surprised to actually see one.
In a bar? Yeah.
Sorry, Nick. You just never grew up.
Well, hey, sure I did. Next September, I'll be 293.
2 pixies, eh? I'll bet you don't got any money either.
Of course not. We don't use money in heaven.
Well, this ain't heaven. That's enough. Out. Out. Get out of my bar.
Your bar? Where's Martini, Nick?
You ain't getting no martini. And how do you know my name anyway? I don't know you from Adam. Hey, you again?
Spare some change, sir. Spare some.
Oh, no, Rummy. I told you never to come in here panhandling.
Mr. Gower? Mr. Gower! Mr. Gower, listen, you know me. I'm George Bailey. George Bailey!
Buy me a drink, mister. Just one, mister?
Get out, Gower. Bill, throw that Rummy out.
Oh, no, please.
But that's Mr. Gower from the pharmacy.
Yeah, that rumhead did 20 years in prison for poisoning a kid. If you know him, you're a jailbird too. Bill, get these 2 out of here. Out, out.
Gosh, you don't have to be so brusque.
Hey, everybody, look at me. I'm handing out wings.
What happened to Mr. Gower? How could that be? Poisoning a kid?
Don't you see, George? You weren't there to stop Gower from putting the poison into...
I wasn't there? Well, sure I was there.
No, because you were not born.
Not born? Well, then who am I then?
Nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean? I'm George Bailey.
No, you're not. No papers, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals.
They aren't there either, George. You may have put those flower petals in your pocket before, but now you don't exist.
They're gone. What am I, a ghost?
You've been given a gift, George, to see the world without you.
You're nuts. And you're gonna drive me nuts, too. Now, I'm going home to my wife and family. You understand? Now leave me alone. Hey, officer! Bert! What's this sign? Welcome to Pottersville?
What about it? You're in downtown Pottersville.
Pottersville? Okay, what about the building and loan? The Bailey Building and Loan?
That joint closed down years ago. As you can see, it's a pawn shop now.
Well, what about the,
Hey, where do you think you're going, Violet?
Get your filthy hands off of me, copper. I didn't jackroll nobody. That sailor had it coming.
He did, eh? Well, you're coming with me.
I said lay off of me. I know the mayor, I know the judge, and the chief. And I'll have you bounced off the force. You can't touch me.
That's enough out of you. Get in the wagon.
No!
Wait, Violet! Hey, I know that girl.
You and every other wolf in town. Now move along before I run you in too.
Step on it, Ernie. You gotta get me home. I'm losing my mind.
Uh-huh. So where do you live, bub?
Now, you cut that out too, Ernie. Don't pull that act on me. I live on 320 Sycamore.
320 Sycamore.
Yeah, and hurry. Zuzu's sick.
Whatever you say.
Listen, Ernie, I don't know what's going on here. I'm crazy or something, but maybe I had some bad liquor. But, okay, tell me now. Your name's Ernie Bishop, right? You live with your wife and son in Bailey Park.
What? Have you seen my wife?
Your wife? Of course I have, 100 times. At your house. I built it for you, didn't I?
My wife took the kid and ran away 5 years ago, and I rent one of Potter's shacks. I've never seen you before, so what are you calling me Ernie for?
Okay, Ernie. I mean... Okay. Just keep driving. Mary! Kids! Where is everybody? Petey, Janie, Zuzu, Tommy! Where are you?
This is just an abandoned house, George. You don't have a wife or children.
What's happened to them?
Well, if you don't exist, then your children wouldn't have... And their officer, that's him. He's Office Rocker.
Hold it, you two. This is the police. Put your hands up.
Bert, what are you doing? That's me.
Take it easy, mister. Come along quiet like and we'll get you some help.
Bert, what happened to you? Look, it's this guy right here. He's an angel. He hypnotized me.
I am an angel, but I don't hypnotize. We prefer to, and...
Uh-huh. Well, I'm taking the both of you. Ow! Let go of me, you!
Now's your chance, George. Run!
Ow! Bite me, will ya?
Hey, you wouldn't beat an old angel, would you? Wait, boss, help! Boss, help me!
What the... Hey, Ernie, where'd the old guy go?
I don't know, he just disappeared.
What about the other one?
He ran south, down Sycamore. Come on.
Yeah?
Mother.
Mother? Who are you?
I'm George. Surely you would remember me. George.
George who?
Mother, listen. You gotta help me. Something terrible's happened. Something's happened to everybody. If I could just come in and stay until I get over it, then maybe.
Get over what? There are no vacancies. Scram.
But we're family. You know, me, your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy, and...
You know Billy?
Sure, I saw him today at the...
Today? Billy's locked away in the nut house ever since he lost his business.
Uncle Billy's in the nut house? What?
The Pottersville Nut House. And that's where you belong too. Now beat it!
Mother, open up! It's me!
Beat it, you! I'm calling the cops, so you better run!
Looking for Bailey Park, George?
You again. Well, where's the housing development, huh? Bailey Park. My dad and I built it right here.
As you can see, it's a cemetery, George.
A cemetery? Where are the houses, huh? The people I knew.
Oh, they're here, George. They're here.
What?
Amidst these tombstones, Martini's buried here, the little Blaine girl, your father, and right next to him.
Harry? Harry Bailey dead?
Your little brother fell through the ice and was drowned at the age of 9.
No, that's a lie! Harry got the Medal of Honor. Harry saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died, George.
How?
Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry.
Me?
Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. You know, George, you really had a wonderful life.
Wonderful?
The kingdom of heaven is spread upon the earth, but men do not see it. Don't you see? See what a mistake it would be to throw your life away, George? Life is the greatest gift.
All the things I wanted to do.
Well, George, it's easier to want what you get than to get what you want.
But Clarence.
Yes?
What about Mary? Please, where's my wife?
But you don't have a...
Tell me where she is.
You won't like it, George.
Tell me what's become of her. Where's my wife?
Haven't you seen enough, George?
Where is she? Tell me.
She never married. She's an old maid.
An old maid? Where is she right now? Or do I have to choke it out of you?
Okay, George, okay. The library. She works there. She's just closing up for the night, but she won't... George, come back. Oh, there must be an easier way to get my wings.
Mary,
I'm sorry, sir. The library's closed.
No, Mary, it's me, George. George, come on. You know me.
No, I don't know you. Excuse me.
Mary.
Let me go.
Mary, I got you. I want you, please.
No, stop. Let me go.
Mary, please. Mary, our kids. Where are our kids? I need you, Mary, please.
Let go. Get away from me. Help.
No, Mary, I'm George.
Help. Somebody help me. He's mad.
Mary, it's me, your husband. Hey, get out of the way. That's Mary. That's my wife. Let me go.
No.
Mary, wait, don't run away.
Help, there's a madman after me. Stop him, help.
I've got to see her. Mary, please, Mary, please. Clarence, where are you here? Clarence, where are you?
Here I am, George. So are you gonna jump off this bridge again?
No, Clarence. I want things to go back the way they were. Put me back in the real world, please. I wish I was born, I do.
But you'll face scandal and prison again. The newspapers, bankruptcy, disgrace.
Anything. I'll do anything gladly. I don't care. Just give me back to my wife and kids, Clarence. I want to live again.
That's the spirit, George. Don't despair. Always be willing.
Oh, yes, Clarence, please. Can you do it? Can you do it for me, Clarence? I want to live again, God, please. Just let me live again. Let me live again, God, please. Yes, God, I want to live again. God, please, I want to live again.
George, what are you doing here?
Bert, you stay away from me. Stay away, officer. Come any closer now. Oh, Clarence, save me.
What in Sam Hill are you yelling about, George?
What? George? Bert, do you know me?
Know you? I've been looking all over town for you, George. Where have you been?
Where have I been? Say it again. I can't hear you.
I'll try the good ear. I said, where have you been?
Hi, Bert. I'm alive again. I'm alive again.
Alive again? Are you all right, George? Your mouth is bleeding.
My mouth? My mouth is bleeding. Oh, look at all the blood oozing out of there. Oh, what do you know?
I mean, it's not that bad, George.
Oh, and hey, Zeus's pedals. I had them right here in my pocket. They're here. Oh, they're in my pocket. Oh, Merry Christmas, Bert.
Well, Merry Christmas. Get in the squad car, George. I'll drive you home right after I get back from...
God, I can't wait, Bert. I'm going home. I know the way home. Oh, boy, do I know the way home. Merry Christmas, Bert.
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Oh, how I love this town. Hey, Merry Christmas, old building and lawn. Oh, hooray, Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Oh, yippee-yah! Mary, what's with all the... Oh, reporters, the sheriff, yes. Merry Christmas, reporters, sheriff, and you?
Carter, bank examiner. Mr. Bailey, your books show a deficit and...
Yes, I know, $8,000, right?
Precisely. And your disappearance has kept me...
Excuse me? Mr. Bailey, I've got a warrant here for your arrest.
Yes, warrant, Sheriff. Jail. No, isn't it wonderful? Merry Christmas.
Well, actually, it's not so.
Just wait, give me 1 second, folks. I'll be right with you. Mary, kids, I'm home. Oh, look at this marvelous, drafty old house. Isn't it wonderful? Mary, kids.
Daddy, Merry Christmas.
Oh, yes, Janie, Petey, Tommy. Oh, I love you so. Where's your mother?
Out looking for you, Daddy, with Uncle Billy. Daddy!
Zuzu, my little ginger snap. How you feeling?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge. Hallelujah.
George! Mommy's home. Mommy!
Oh, Mary.
George, where did you go?
Oh, Mary.
Oh, George.
Mary, I have to touch you. I have to hold you. Oh, you're real, Mary. You're real. Oh, you have no idea what's happened.
You have no idea what's happened.
George, look what I've got.
Uncle Billy.
Money, George. Bushels of money.
You found the $8,000?
No, George. Mary worked a miracle, didn't you, Mary?
People heard you were in trouble. You're your friends. They've pitched in to help you.
Here you go, George.
Charlie, Mrs. Davis, Martini, and Mr. Gower. Mr. Gower. Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. Thank you, Eddie. Tom, thank you. I can't believe it. Ernie.
Well, none of us would have a roof over our heads if it wasn't for you, George.
Yes, that's right. Here, Georgie, alone.
Violet, didn't you go to...
Nah, I decided to stick around. Wait, everybody. Here's a cable from Sam Wainwright. It reads, Mr. Gower notified me you needed cash. Stop. My office will advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas, Sam.
Hey, how about that?
I don't know what to say. Mother and Harry.
George! Mary called us in Washington. I flew in as fast as I could. Come on, everybody. A toast. Harry. Yes, a toast. To my brother George, the richest man in town. To George! To George!
Daddy, look. See my little bell hanging on the Christmas tree?
I see it, Zuzu.
I hung it up there all by myself. Can you ring it for me, Daddy?
If I can reach it, dear. Excuse me, Mary.
George,
Somebody left a book here under the tree. See?
Why, if it isn't the adventures of Tom Sawyer.
And there's an inscription. What does it say?
Dear George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
Clarence?
Yeah. He's a very dear friend of mine.
Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings.
That's right, Zuzu. That's right. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Clarence. Thank you so much. Yes, it truly is a wonderful life. Happy landings.
We now invite our audience at home to sing along with us in this final thing of Old Lang Syne. Ladies and gentlemen, all through our holiday playhouse, not a creature was stirring that doesn't wish our radio audience a Merry, Merry Christmas. This goes for all of us, from our Walla Walla vocalizers, from our sound effects crew of joyful noisemakers. You get the idea. From our director and engineer, Merry Christmas. And of course, from our wonderful cast, Merry Christmas.